Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Underground Kings podcast. Today I'm joined by my friend Dustin. Dustin, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, man.
And let's jump right into it. We're just going to have a raw-ass conversation, dude, and fucking see what comes up.
And see where it goes.
So give everybody a little bit of kind of your current state. Like, what are you up to right now? Where are you working? What are you doing?
Right now, I am the trainer at Next Level Mobility and the social media manager.
Yep.
So I've been doing that for the past 6 months. I'm also training for an upcoming bodybuilding competition. So all in all, that takes up a lot of my time.
Yeah, hell yeah. What's the training regimen looking like right now?
Right now, I'm gaining weight and bulking up, which is the most physically exhausting thing that I've been through. I mean, I'm just tired all the time. I eat 4,000 calories a day. Yeah, I've been doing that for, a few months, probably 3. And man, I'm just tired. I sweat for no reason. It's physically exhausting, but I love it, really.
What is this competition, and what's the slot you're going to make a move on?
I'm going to do men's physique.
Okay.
Because I don't think I have the genetics to do like classic physique. You have to walk around at like 240 pounds, and I'm just, there's no way. I don't even have the frame for that, I don't think. So, and plus I don't want to wear the thong.
I don't blame you. Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah, just, the trunks for me. But I'm hoping to do one here in South Carolina come springtime. I might do another one, do them back to back, and try to compete in one in Kentucky as well.
Sweet. Dude.
So my roommate was actually one of the people that won the competition in Kentucky. So the reason I'm going there is kind of just to kick his ass.
Awesome. Fuck yeah. You think you're going to beat him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. He knows he has it coming.
So what have you always trained bodybuilding?
Yeah, well, I have. Yeah, now that I think about it. I was a college basketball player, so
Okay.
I've always been in athletics, and coming out of college, I got a psychology degree. Can't really do much with that. So I transitioned, and the only thing that I knew how to do was just, athletics, personal training. I wanted to do athletic development at first, but kind of just started focusing on more personal training, more money in it. And after I got my certificate, I just started bodybuilding. It always interested me. I feel like I have a good genetic makeup for that.
Yep.
So for the past few years, that's kind of where my head's been.
How heavy were you when I met you?
Ooh, I was
probably like a year ago?
Not even, probably 8 months ago. Wow. I was 177 pounds.
Where you at now?
205.
205.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of weight. Yeah, it's exhausting.
You're 5 pounds under me, and I'm 6'4".
Yeah. So imagine carrying that around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to put your socks on. Your range is all messed up. You don't know how big. In the shower, I'm knocking shit over. It's tough. It takes some adjustment. But coming just middle December, I'm going to start kind of cutting back down, and I'm going to try to get to that 180, 179 range again. But hopefully less body fat, because the competition I'm competing in is actually the highest you could be for a middleweight is 179. So you want to go in as a big 179. The biggest you could be.
Yep.
People are like always asking me like, that's a lot of weight. You're gonna lose all that weight? I'm like, yeah, but for me I lose weight a lot easier than I gain weight. So it's gonna be, I can shred it off really quick.
Are there methods to shedding weight for the weigh-in day? Are there methods outside of just cutting calories?
Yeah. Up until training day, so if say you're 6 weeks out, or let's go even closer than that, let's go 3 weeks out. You want to cut calories, of course. Your fats drop, but you have to keep your protein intake right where it's at, where it's been the entire time. So all throughout your training, you have your macros, and you want to cut your carbs and your fats almost to a quarter of what you would intake when you're bulking.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're eating broccoli and grilled chicken dry, days before the competition, you're eating peanut butter and, you know, like trying to get a Rice Krispie treat down before working out so you could like actually feel some sort of pump. Because at those days of training, it's like you lift and you lift and you lift and nothing happens. It's a weird feeling. Like you don't feel like you're working out. Right. I feel like there's nothing there. You know, it's just, yeah. And so I know days before a show, you'll take the water retention pills and just kind of dry yourself out as much as possible, and then eat at the very minimum. And then once you get into it, it's kind of crazy. Like once you get on stage, I know guys that go on stage so dehydrated and so dry and lean that they're dizzy. And you will see them pose and just kind of like give one of these. You see them kind of doing, you know, that. And you're like, oh, no. Like people have come close to passing out before because they've been so, you know, just dehydrated. And afterwards, I've never been so hungry in my life. Oh, my God. Yeah. It's crazy.
I probably wouldn't want to witness that. That's probably repulsive.
Yeah, it's tough. It really is.
So, give me a little bit more about your backstory growing up, what kind of your upbringing was like, and then I really kind of tailoring that towards, you know, what point did you kind of get into weightlifting and what was the purpose behind that?
Oh boy.
That's a lot.
You wouldn't believe it, but I actually grew up really, really country in West Virginia, backwoods. I was 19 miles from the nearest cell phone service, the cell tower. I was almost 22 miles from my high school. It took me, I caught the bus every morning at 5:30 to get to school by 8. So I grew up really secluded. My whole life, convenience wasn't even in my vocabulary. You know, I knew everything took time. And there's not a lot to do in, you know, West Virginia at that time. My dad poured me a little basketball court outside of our family home. And sometimes I would go outside and I would just play until my fingers bled. I had nothing else to do. We didn't have internet. We didn't have, you know, cell phone service. The only thing to do was just go outside. So I just kind of took that and ran with it. So I started playing Little League when I was 5. And I played all the way up until I graduated college. I was good in, you know, middle school and high school. I kind of found that I had a knack for it, but I was small. I was only going into my 8th grade year. I think I was just hit 5 feet tall.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was very little. But I mean, I could shoot, man. I was shooting 3-point. This was before Steph Curry. Like I was shooting 3-pointers in Little League and middle school that were just like crazy because that's all I did when, you know, where I lived, there was nothing else to do. So I had this like knack for being, how would I say it, just more physical because I had to be. Then getting into high school, I hit my growth spurt and I was still like 5'7", 5'8", but I was a monster. I was. I mean, I averaged almost 30 points a game in high school. I was first team All-State. Like, I was good. Yeah, really good. And I'm not even being cocky there. Like, I got a D1 scholarship.
Where'd you play?
Marshall.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started out at Kentucky Christian University for 1 year because they gave me a full ride, and Marshall wouldn't. So I started at Kentucky Christian I played a half a year. And Marshall was like, no. We want him back. We'll give you a full ride. Like, you still want a full ride? Come over here. So I was like, okay, cool. We'll do that. Making the jump from high school and being first team All-State and just kind of being the man, you know, to D1 college basketball was just an enormous jump. We had guys that were 7 feet tall. You know, we had 2 twin Serbians on the team that were both 6'11". Yeah, I mean, it was just huge. A different league completely. So first day of practice, like I go in to get a rebound, and I think it was, who was it? It might have been Patrick Patterson during the summer scrimmage. And all I remember was going up for the rebound and then hitting the bleachers. Like he literally shoved me so hard into the bleachers. And that's when I kind of realized, like, damn, like this isn't high school.
Yep.
You know? One time during our first practice, I went up for an easy layup, and I think one of the Serbians blocked my shot so hard that it broke the fucking seat off the bleacher.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I was like, oh, shit. So I was like, then that's when I realized NBA is probably not going to happen. I'm 5'8". I did good for what I had, but at this point I was like, you know, I need to focus on something else. So since I've been small my entire life, the biggest thing was I just wanted to get big.
Yep.
I wanted to get bigger. That was my focus. That way I didn't feel like the small guy anymore. But after college, I hit another growth spurt. I was 23 years old. I hit another growth spurt. My hair started being curly for some reason. I don't know what the fuck happened.
It sounds more like genetic mutations going on.
I know, and then I jumped up like another 4 inches. I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, where was this like 4 years ago?
Right.
You know what I mean? I could have been in the league. Like, so, but then that's kind of when I found out, like, all right, well now I'm like, you know, I'm 6 feet tall, I'm big, like maybe I can make it go with this. You know, I've always loved competing, no matter what it is. Like in Little League, when I played ball, like I would cry if we lost, but I'd also cry if we won, which is like kind of messed up. You know, that's how like competitive I was just in Little League. I was like 8 years old. I'm like, even if I win, that's how much emotion that I put into it. And I mean, I've always been that way. So I was like, let me find something that I can compete in using what I've got. So that's kind of where I started focusing on bodybuilding and personal training and just kind of that whole realm of fitness.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I ever tell you about where I grew up?
No, tell me.
So I relate to you more than you may know. I was in wicked small town in upstate New York, and you know we lived on the only dirt road, kind of like around, and we were in the middle of the woods. We spent all our time outside playing ball in our gravel drive, like just doing what kids should be doing, in my opinion.
Exactly.
I had 21 kids in my graduating class of high school.
21. Wow.
The school that I had grown up, so I grew up at the age of 10 is when we moved schools. The school I was at prior to the age of 10, I had 8 kids in my class.
Holy shit.
Like, so small town, small school, I 100% know what you're talking about. And like traveling to get to everything, and just, there's nothing to do. But then that's the beauty in that is like you find ways to entertain yourself that tend to be healthier physically.
Yeah.
You know, playing Xbox online with my friends for a long period of time was not an option. We didn't have fast, like high-speed internet.
Right.
We didn't have service at my house for a long time. And it's always kind of the running joke. Tim laughs about this too. It's like the guy that had hardly any access to internet compared to most kids for most of his life, or younger life, ends up running the digital marketing agency. Right. Probably because like once I got a hold of it, I was like so intrigued by it. I was like, what is this foreign tech?
It's a whole different realm for you. Yeah. Like, you're like, oh shit, what is this?
I don't think I got, just talking to a buddy of mine the other day about when we got our first cell phones. I think my first cell phone, I was like, I might have been like 13. Only reason my parents got it for me was because I was hanging out in town with buddies and I had it to call them to pick me up.
Yeah. Yeah, they put like 3 numbers on it for
you. Exactly, dude.
So to hit this
Pre-programmed.
one. Yeah.
Oh, man, dude.
Yeah.
But I think there's, it's funny, guys that grow up in the country, guys that grow up, I guess, the way you and I did, seems like, seems to be like this. There's this factor that they have, this grit that they have that I don't see in a lot of people that grew up in this modern age with all of the access to the modern technology, access to, I talked to buddies of mine that grew up in like the city areas, especially when I got to college. I kind of met a lot of them, was friends with a lot of them. We went to this movie theater, we did this thing, went to the mall, doing all this stuff. And I'm like, man, like I would have, one of my rituals was like, I would have all my boys over to our house. We had like a full gym. My father was always big into weightlifting in his younger years and got us into it at a young age. And so we had the full gym at our house, boxing bag, lifting rack, all the weights. And I'd have all the boys over, we'd lift weights, and we'd sit on the porch for a little bit, and then we'd all kind of put our heads together on what we were going to do, and we'd drive closest like metropolitan small area nearby had a Chipotle. So we would, but it was like 40 minutes away. So we'd all of us would just mount up in the truck, drive 40 minutes, get Chipotle. And it was like, that was an awesome day for us.
Yeah. I mean,
now I get it every day.
That's an event, you have to take time out of your day to go to Chipotle. Like, it's not like it's next door.
And then you have so much more appreciation for things.
Yeah.
Something, however, that I just recently went on a trip upstate. I went on a hunting trip. So I was hunting with my brother, my father, some other family members for 10 days.
Oh, that's an experience.
It was like, I haven't clocked out from work in a very long time. Like usually, even if I go out for holidays, like I'm always got my fingers on the pulse. Yeah. But this time I really kind of disconnected a little bit more than I usually would.
Right.
And just spent time in the mountains. We were up. I was up at 4:30 in the morning, headlamp on, walking through the field to my brother's house, getting the hunting gear, coffee, getting in the truck, driving anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, getting to the spot, and then going in the woods with hunting lamps on to go set up and do whatever. And we wouldn't get home from hunting until like 7:30 at night. Just go, and it's way harder than any training session I've ever done.
Oh, yeah, no, without a doubt.
But something about this time, it was like, I've been down here for 2 years now. Something about this trip for me, some rewiring or reconnection happened for me. And it was like, I just came to like this full on epiphany of like, fuck, like I feel like I've lived a certain way in the wilderness, like among men, doing like, we're out hunting and gathering more or less, as opposed to click.
Exactly.
Or type on the phone, or like, oh, we'll go to the movie theater, we'll go to the mall. It's like that kind of shit. And yeah, man, I don't know. I need more of it now.
Yes. It felt natural. Like that's what you should be doing. It's like just being out there is different. And I think, to go with your point here, I think that the reason that people from the country seem to have a more grit is because they're able to occupy themselves. That's a thing. It's something that's lost. People always have to be entertained now. And back when we were growing up, where we grew up, we had to go find the entertainment. It didn't just come to us. Now there's so many things that there's so many things available for us to be entertained by. It's just like everybody's got their hands in everything, and they don't know where to focus, like where the focus should be, instead of the opposite effect. If I have to go find my entertainment, then my focus is just that. And when we latch onto something, that's where our head's at. That's where our headspace is.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest difference in what you see today.
It's fun. I never really connected that dot. That makes a lot of sense to me. I think it's equally as much. That makes perfect sense. I absolutely agree with that. And the other side of it, I think, is like, real country bred, doing outdoorsman activities type things. There's a piece of, especially men, there's a piece of your primal ancestral man that you were born into and were plugged into. Yeah. That these kids have lived their whole life with an absence of. grown into an adult man with the absence of. And it's like, honestly, a lot of like, you go to the zoo, a lot of these animals were born in captivity, and they're mellow and they're eaten and they want to, you know, sit around and be entertained by the toys and whatnot. I would challenge someone to like go out, snag a wolf, a wild, full-grown adult wolf, and then throw them in that pen.
Yeah.
And watch how they act.
Yeah.
And what they want is they're going to take.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And they would be, I mean, you would be game time for them. You threw them in, you know, their will is to hunt, you know, at all costs.
Right.
They're always in that mode. And I feel like when you go to the zoo, they've lost that. All animals, especially the ones that you go to see, like tigers and stuff, they've lost that will, you know. And same thing with people like us. I mean, you always, like you said, you're always on it. You know, your foot's on, you know, you're always foot's on the gas, like I'm going, you know.
Right.
A lot of people, there's not a lot of people like that now.
It's almost like a perfect marriage when you talk about like the two skill sets too that we would have, is like you have this vicious, ferocious approach to going after things. Like you are a wild animal in a pen when you move, in my opinion, to like a populated area or city.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a caged animal every single fucking day.
Yeah.
And then you partner that with the ability to create and entertain oneself and to channel their focus. It's like, okay, wasn't brought up always stimulated. I had to create opportunities to be stimulated. Yeah. So you partner those two things, and you wonder why like guys like us gravitate towards either opportunities that we can grow and excel in, or we're doing businesses, or we're podcasts, whatever the fuck it is.
Right. Yeah, you're exactly right. I think the ability to be comfortable with being understimulated. We've been understimulated when growing up, being okay with that. Some people, as soon as, you know, they have to be doing something or stimulated at some point all the time by, you know, whether it's your phone, your computer, whatever, TV shows, like I said, they got their hands in a lot of things. But sometimes I like to just go home and just like not talk, like just relax. I don't need anything in front of me. I don't need to dive deep into some show or anything like that. Like sometimes I sit there, you know, I'm not on my phone or anything. I don't answer my phone the first hour that I'm awake.
I've done that for chapters. I do it for certain periods of time, and then I'll go back. Then business pulls me back in, but I'm a big advocate for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with just being by myself for a minute. I don't need the outside world for about an hour. Like I just can't take that, you know. So I kind of just get myself together, and just, you know, it's good to sit with yourself. It's kind of how you find out who you are.
Right. I just think it's like there's a voice that I hadn't heard for a very long time until I was up in those mountains sitting in silence, and it doesn't start talking until you've kind of acclimated. It's like by like day 3 or 4 of, you know, you're sitting for any point at a time, or you're walking for any point at a time with nothing but like the sound of the outdoors, the wind blowing, whatever it is.
Yeah. And
you're in this primal hunt mode and whatever, and then you're sitting there, you're moving, you're sitting for hours on end by yourself with no human contact, no stimulus, nothing. And all of a sudden that voice starts going, and it's it's foreign, dude. It's like, it shouldn't feel foreign, but it feels foreign. It's like, where are these thoughts coming from? What is this? Like, blah, blah, blah. And then I feel like I came to the realization at some point in time, I was like, this is me talking. Mm-hmm. I can't hear myself think while I've been in this other world, because I'm constantly sitting there surrounded by external noise.
Exactly.
I finally erased this external chaos, and all of a sudden I could hear myself like think again. And then that's where new ideas and new thoughts come from.
Things become more clear.
Bingo.
When you have nothing else to think about, like you start kind of going over things in your head. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know about you, but I find things make more sense when I don't have all of this outside noise kind of, you know, in my face all the time. Yep. Like if I'm, like you said sitting in the woods, sitting there, hunting, but you have a lot of time to think. And I mean, seems like things just, that little voice that you're talking about just starts making sense to you.
Yep.
It is. It's a different feeling. It is. Did you end up killing anything?
I killed 2 does. This was for muzzleloader season. Yeah. So, and then I was there for the first weekend of rifle season. I killed 2 does. My father killed a doe. This guy that we came and joined our hunting party just for like an hour, where he was going on some trip, came out with us. He killed a doe. It was nice. Like we had a successful.
At least you got something out of it.
We had a successful week for sure. Yeah, it was good to get some. I mean, I said it when I was going up there. I ain't shy about it. Like, I was looking to get some blood on my hands and just feel connected with whatever that thing is again.
Yeah. I mean, so how did you get into what you're doing now?
I guess that kind of just came with like my whole like transition to college. College was like my first experience being around a whole shitload of people, you know? And I was going for marketing and business administration, like your classic, like I knew I wanted to do some kind of business, whatever. And then I felt like we had a lot of classes, and all our classes, I was like, 99% of this information is completely fucking useless. Mm-hmm. No shot in hell with the number of classes that I skipped and the amount of times that I just didn't study. I never took notes in classes.
Yeah.
In no way, shape, or form should this degree that's put on a pedestal have someone like me doing things like I was doing in college with straight A's. Like, it's just like, that was the testament. I was like, how hard really is this? Because this is not a challenge. And it was really just, it felt like I was being bred for something. I was like, I was being bred for the corporate world. Yeah. And like, when I came to that realization, I just immediately went to YouTube. I went to books, started reading books, started watching YouTube videos. Was like, at one point in time, I was like, I'm going to be in real estate. And then I was like, I'm going to be in this thing and that. But what I did is I just like would find something new.
Yeah.
Go like balls to the walls, researching it for like 20 to 40 hours. Mm-hmm. And then I'd be like, I don't know. And I'd find another thing. And then eventually I stumbled upon like this whole new like SMMA, the social media marketing space. And I was like, shit, like this just, I don't know why, but this just like makes fucking sense. And like, why isn't everyone doing this? What I really wondered was, why aren't there, like, you don't know of one social media marketing agency that's like a massive firm.
Yeah. I
was like, so it's new. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, it's new. I know social media fairly well enough. Yeah. And then I was just like, I'm just gonna do this. Like, I'm just gonna figure it out. And I went home one winter break or something like that. And I remember I went home with like the determination in my brain. I was like, I'm going to start a social media marketing company and I'm going to drop out of college. I was like, I hate this. I hated school. It was so boring to me because it wasn't challenging.
No. Half of it's showing up.
It literally, dude. And I didn't even do that.
Like, literally, you show up. Most of the time you're going to pass. That's kind of how college is.
It was just so stupid, man. And I went home. I was like, I talked to my mom first, of course. So I was like, I want to drop out and like start my own business or something. And she's like, oh, go for it. Go for it. Like, I believe in you. You'll do whatever you say you're going to do, so do it. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, cool. I got the green light from mom. Now to go to dad with it. Went to my father. I was like, hey, I already talked to mom, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think I want to drop out of school. Mm-hmm. Just the look on his face, dude. It was like his soul left his body.
Hell no.
He's like, I don't know what you think you're doing, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's just nuts. It's nuts, Colton. Like, you're going to screw something up here that you've worked really hard for. And I'm like, fuck. I said, all right. I said, I'll make you a deal. I'm going to finish. I pretty much made this contract. I was like, I'm going to finish college. But I'm also going to start the marketing company at the same time in my last year of college. I'm going to start the company. And if I sign a client before I graduate, I'm taking the agency on full time the day I graduate. And I did that.
Damn.
My first client was, actually, it's so funny. I went to there was a networking event I heard about that was like 2 hours south of me. Mm-hmm. I drove all the way down there, got dressed up, whatever. First networking event I ever went, and met some guys. Met this one guy that had like a little clothing brand going on, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, I do social media management, like content, like whatever." And he's like, "Okay, cool. Like, give me your business card." I called him probably like a week after. I said, "Hey, man, like, what do you want to do? You want to do this? Like, blah, blah, blah. You just send me product. I'll take photos and videos. I'll even get some models, and then I'll post every day on Instagram and Facebook for you."
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, sure. Like, what are you thinking for price point?" And so posting every day, 2 platforms, creating the content, models, like had my friends modeling the clothes, going out, photos, video shoots, all that shit.
Yeah.
$45 a month.
Oh my gosh.
It was bad, dude. Like,
wow.
It was just, that was my first client.
Yeah.
And then my second client was like some like hip hop artist out in California who said, I remember asking, I was like, this guy's paying me $45 a month. I'm like, I don't know how much to bump it up here, but I'm like, I'll post every day for you for $250. And he's like, sure, dude, sounds dope.
He was just like,
wired me the $250 for the first month. I walked inside, I was like, Dad, I just signed a big client. Like, fuck,
that's huge,
dude. I was like, I made it. I'm done. I can retire. It was a wild ride, man, of just like eating shit for the longest fucking time, running out of my parents' basement after I graduated. And
look where you're at now.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, just little by little.
That's exactly what it is.
You never look at the forest. You always look at your, the next step.
Yep.
What's the next thing I got to do? And that's good, man. I mean, you've come a long way.
I've never been good at planning, and I think that's played as one of my heaviest strengths. Is like, I'm the guy that's like, okay, we're gonna go on this big hike.
Yeah.
And I'm like, grab a drawstring bag, throw 1 water bottle in there, throw it over my back, and like we go, and it's a 25-mile hike, but I know I'll do it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Like, we'll find a stream, like drink some water, get beaver fever, like have the shits all the way out. Like, I don't fucking care. All I know is like, I'm gonna get to the top of the mountain, I'm gonna get back.
Yeah, yeah.
I was focused on doing, but
that's awesome though, man. I mean, look how far you've came just from that. You were kind of ahead of the game with this.
Got a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, but everyone does. In everybody's mind, they have a long way to go. But you kind of got ahead of the game on this whole idea. And I mean, I've seen the content that you do, and it's really, I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, Ethan's the man, dude.
Yeah.
Ethan Kid is fucking savage. What exactly got you into like I'm curious to know how you got into like the social media type space, because you've been like creating content for a while. Yeah. Now you're managing the social media presence for Next Level Mobility.
Yep. You're
creating content for them. You've been still creating content for yourself.
Yeah.
So you kind of have like a personal brand around fitness kind of thing.
Yeah. Honestly, I got into it because I wanted a social media management job.
Really?
Yeah, and that's kind of why I still do it. Even though I have the job now, I feel like my personal content is almost like my resume. So if, God forbid, if anything would ever happen, or if I want to go to the next step with Next Level Mobility, then I will have some evidence. If Next Level gets 100 employees and I'm the social media manager for all of them, I would need them to look at me and say, hey, like, this is why he's
right, the
social media manager. Like, look at this stuff. I see a lot of people that have a social media job and their social media sucks. And I'm look at that, like, where's your evidence that you could do this job? But on the other side, I started doing it for fun too. I mean, I'm going to work out anyway, regardless. It doesn't hurt me to set up a camera and record some workouts and maybe help someone else,
Right.
I started very small, obviously, so I know other people have the ability to do it, and if somebody has the will to do that, then I will, I want to help them in any way that I can. So that's kind of where that came from, honestly. And it's still the same today.
So that is kind of where you see yourself going with like Next Level or whatever venture kind of thing, is like being in that marketing social media realm of things and kind of like thinking how to brand things, how to create content, how to strategically grow the business.
Yeah, and I think I think with Next Level especially, there's an opportunity to grow, not just from my point of view, my position, but with the gym itself. I think it has a lot of potential. I don't think that people can see that just yet, but I'm looking 5 years down the line. This is going to be huge. Yeah. And as soon as I walked in the doors, that's what I thought. I was like, this can be something. And I know social media is just a part of what it would take to run a gym, and which is my ultimate goal. If I want to, expand and grow as a human being, and I'm always evolving, then I need to be able to do every aspect of the job, and not just the job I'm at now with social media, but with the whole aspect of running a gym, if that's what I want to do. And I know that's a part of it. Next, we'll learn about financials. Right. We'll try to get on the spreadsheets, see how that works. But I want to come into it knowing exactly what I'm doing. A lot of gyms fail because it's not because they're not good. It's not because they don't have a great staff. It's not because, anything about the owner that's knowledgeable. I mean, it is simply because they just don't know how to run the financial part of it. Yep. They don't know how to run the marketing part of it. There's a lot of aspects that they're missing. Just because you can work out and just because you look good doesn't mean you can run a business.
Bingo.
So that's where I'm at. I'm trying to learn how to run the business.
Lucky for you, you have a very good mentor in place, Tim Vichek. I mean, that guy's taught me a shitload about things that, we'll go out to lunch and sit there and like have lunch, and he's just chit-chatting with me, having small talk. Yeah. And he'll just like drop a bombshell where I'm sitting there having a revelation about, like, damn, I could like implement that into my business. And
yeah, he makes you think, and he does. I don't think he even realizes it, but
he doesn't. A lot of times, he's very intelligent. He knows what he's doing. He's from that massive corporate background of like very high intensity corporate.
Right.
VP of operations for Spirit Halloween,
and he'll drop knowledge on you, and then just keep going about his day.
Yep.
And you're sitting there thinking like, damn, that was special. I think there was a video that I did for our customer appreciation day.
Okay.
And Tim did a speech. Okay. And he winged it. Like, he completely went up there and just said what he felt. And the next day he comes into the office and I'm like, we're going to post your speech. And he said, really? What did I do? And I had him look at it, and I was like, you nailed this. Like, you don't even realize it, but you nailed this. Like, that's something. And of course, him being him, he was like, yeah, dude, do whatever you want. On to the next thing. Yep. He just dropped it, and he was just like, okay, yeah, post it. I'm out.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, this guy, he really knows his shit.
Yeah. I remember how excited he was when he found you. Because, I think after you guys, first met, he was talking to me about you. He was like, this kid, I just see a lot of potential in him. Look at you now. You've gone from kind of just being in there. You were, kind of part-time training, doing a little social media stuff.
I look back on it now, and I'm like, oh, bad.
We all really do, bad. Man. We all do.
Oh, man.
You should see my first YouTube video. I'm like, God, dude.
Yeah. I struggle through it.
Yeah. It's the name of the game.
Yeah.
The name of the game, and the beauty of it is being able to look back and be like, okay, damn, I've come that far. Mm-hmm. It's almost I've always thought it was kind of fun to look back and be like, what a fucking loser I was on camera.
The journey, it shows the journey, that where you were, where you're at now. Same goes with you.
Yep.
But I'm glad he's seen some potential, because I can only focus on one thing at a time. But I say this a lot, but I don't half-ass it. I do it with my whole ass. I'm 100% focused on that. So, at that point in time, I wanted to do social media, and I wanted to do something in fitness. And I'm glad he could see that that's where I'm at. That's where my head's at. So it's huge.
Not many people too would just see something in a kid and be like, oh, I don't have a position for that, but I'm going to kind of create this weird hybrid position that.
Yeah, he didn't even have a position for me. He wasn't even looking for a social media person or anything. He was looking for a female trainer, is what he said.
Got that?
Yeah. And then he just said he went to Nick and he was like, I want to hire this guy. And Nick was like, it's not a female trainer or anything. What are we looking at? And he was like, I don't know. I'm gonna bring him in anyway. Just take it, rolling the dice. Which you got to salute him for that, man. He's not afraid to roll the dice on anything.
Absolutely not. Retiring at 62 and opening a fitness studio is like rolling a lot of dice.
Yeah.
It's freaking awesome though.
Mm-hmm. He's a different breed. He really is.
Oh yeah, he is. He's like that dude's got some energy, man.
Man, to be how old is he? 69? 60?
No, he's like 63 right
63, yeah, 63. So yeah, God. For him to be still the energy. I watched Josh, our intern, work Tim out for the past 2 weeks. And
Tim's working out again?
Yeah. So we're trying to give Josh some experience. Yep. He's a new trainer, so we're easing him into it very slowly. And Tim jumped to the idea that he was like, yeah, you can train me. He's like, I need to lose weight. Train me, Josh, and we'll see how you do. And I mean, Josh has been kicking his ass for like 2 weeks. And I mean, Tim, he's answering business calls in the middle of doing a superset. And I'm like, where does he get this energy? He's like, duty calls. And he'll just pick up his phone. He'll rack the bench, pick up the phone while he's sweating. He's got the headband on. He picks up the phone. He's like, yeah, I can do Monday. Yeah, that sounds good. Hey, that'll be fine. Okay, I'll call you back. That sounds good. And then he like hangs up and he's like, 6, 7.
It scares me to death knowing how similar he and I are in a lot of regards, and like trying to envision myself at that age doing that shit.
It's unbelievable, man. Like, it's crazy. I'm like, where does he find the drive? I have no idea, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, definitely not many people his age are like looking for their next venture.
No.
Most of them are looking to like square away their ventures and like relax.
He can't do it.
No.
He can't sit still. Not for 2 seconds.
Nope.
It's honorable is what it is. And it's like, I want to be that way when I hope I'm that way when I'm his age.
I got nothing but respect for it.
Yeah,
for sure, yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's something.
As long as I can keep the testosterone levels high, working some HGH around like 45.
Yeah, I mean,
40.
We're now
30.
30s.
25.
25 is cool. That seems the right age.
Just start working it in now.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Weighing myself on.
Basic stuff.
Basic stuff. How old are you now?
I'm 30.
You're 30.
Yeah. I'm old, man.
Man. Yeah. I'm like counting the days till I'm 30, man. I mean, I feel 80 at heart, but fuck.
Oh, 80, all right.
Tim and I joke all the time. It's like, at heart, I am Tim. And Tim at heart is what someone my age should be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I feel 80 sometimes when I get out of bed after doing like 2 hours of legs, then the day before, and then going to bed and then getting out, and you just like, everything pops, and I'm like, oh my God, like, am I 100 years old already? It's the way I feel. Like, I'm down, like my back hurts. I'm holding my back. I sneezed the other day and I think I threw something out. I was like, oh God, is this 30?
You get to a certain point and you like almost need like that warm shower in the morning. You almost need the hot shower even to like get your joints moving.
Oh yeah. That's the way I feel.
Piping hot, dude. Just
I'm like, oh, winter's coming. This is tough. I'm stiff.
Just all kinds of fucked up.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like, stuff like that makes me realize how Ronnie Coleman is like in the situation that he's in now with his body. I mean, dude, like sometimes I feel like I'm right there. Like after leg day, I did legs 3 times a week for like 60 days straight. Okay. And I thought I was going to come out like Ronnie. I was like, oh God, I'm going to be down in the hips. Like, I was like days that I don't know if my right leg is moving right or not. Like, it was messed up. Like, I used to squat until my nose would like bleed.
God damn.
Yeah, like it's a little crazy, but I mean, I went there like to a mental point that once I'm going to do this regardless. Like, I don't care. And I would squat until my nose bled, and like those days. The day after, and maybe like 2 more days after, I was like, yeah, down. Like I was sitting down every chance I get, like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And then legs again, like 3 times a week, man.
As soon as it's not even like the pain is waned,
Yeah.
you're just kind of like,
you're still feeling the shit from 4 days ago. And you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And I couldn't imagine like the guys in Olympia. I don't know if you watched Mr. Olympia.
I've watched a little bit.
I can't imagine what they go through. Like to be that size and to lift that hard and that heavy and to look that way, just day in and day out. Oh my God.
And for their shit being so dialed to the point where it's like they couldn't like, oh, I'm gonna have a fire at my house this Friday and like invite some buddies over and have 1 beer.
Right.
Like, they can't even like touch the shit.
No, not even. It's not even a thought. You know, you can't do anything, and you're training like 3 hours a day. Like we watched Tom Platt's leg days. Like, have you ever seen videos of Tom? Like he's doing leg extensions. His legs aren't moving. He's just kind of like humping the air because he's got his training partner holding down his legs. And I mean, the intensity is just out of this world. You know, I couldn't imagine what his legs felt like 2, 3, 4 days afterwards.
I don't want to.
No, he probably couldn't walk. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. But did you watch this year's Mr. Olympia?
I didn't actually watch the full thing. I've just seen like YouTube clips and shit.
Okay.
I watched C-Bum. I watched C-Bum take home the W.
Yeah, we knew that was coming.
That was fucking, dude. He's just, I mean, that what he has attained is insanity.
It is.
As far as physique is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at pictures of him in 2018 and you look at pictures of him now, that kind of growth in a short amount of time, because 5 years is a short amount of time when you're talking about this sport. And that, it's off the charts. It really is. The man squats like, he's like doing 405 on the Smith machine squats, but he's not even making a face. It looks like it's not even phasing him.
Yep.
It looks like just a routine, and he's just wrapping it out.
Yep.
The man had the belt squat the other day. He had weights all the way to the end on the belt squat on both sides. I mean, it looked like 20 fucking plates. And he's just like, just barely even, like not a wince, not an ugly face, nothing. He's just killing it, 20 reps.
It's just insane.
That's insane. It's crazy. But we knew he was going to win.
Right.
He said it himself. He's like, these guys are fighting for second place.
Correct.
He's like,
that was a fire clip.
Yeah, the dude that got 3rd place is his training partner. And he's like, I know I'm going to beat him. You know, like, it's crazy, you know, to be that confident. But he's earned it.
Yeah, I've watched him on YouTube for years now.
Yeah.
Like, him, I watched, what the fuck's his name? Originally from the UK, lives in Dubai now. Mike Thurston. I watched a lot of Mike Thurston growing up when I used to do like that kind of training.
Yeah.
Now I'm like all on like strength training, boxing, like
yeah.
Definitely it's a whole different ball game. I mean, I was big into like watching all the bodybuilders and those guys, and I always had, it's funny, like I can't even remember at what age really it was, but I want to say it was like 3-4 years ago. I had trained a certain way for so long, and it was always about like trying to get my size up. I think the heaviest I ever was like 215 or something, you know? And that was with just, I was eating fucking 5,000-6,000 calories because I had like an all-you-can-eat meal plan at the school, and I'd go up and get tray after tray. Like, I'd go get pasta, I'd go get a sandwich, like just disgusting amounts of food. And just would train, honestly, would just wait till I felt good enough to train again and just train again. Like, I would train twice a day some days, like every once in a while.
Yeah.
Definitely wasn't doing any like proper recovery phases. Never got huge, you know. I'm 6'4", wiry dude. I always have been.
Yeah.
But at some point, I completely changed to like, you know what? I don't want to be the guy that looks like you don't want to fuck with him. I want to be the guy that you don't want to fuck with.
Yeah.
But that looks like the kind of guy that you could fuck with. Like, I almost want to like basically like paint a target on my back and make me capable of fending you off.
Like a sneaky build. But
that's
like,
exactly what I want, the sleeper build, dude.
Yeah, like a sleeper build, but you know, it's I'll kick your ass, but you don't know it, so like,
Yeah.
please.
Exactly,
like,
dude.
I want all the smoke, please. Like, you know.
Like, to be as strong but as like slender and tall as possible kind of thing. If I could have that kind of a build.
Yeah, because I mean, dude, you're tall. I mean, it's hard to put on muscle when you're 6'4".
Extremely.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you've got a lot to work with. But it's like, it's tough. It is. That's why all your, the dudes that do put on size, like the winner of Olympia this year, he was 5'5", I think.
Jesus, dude, that's tiny.
C-Bum's only 6 foot. So, I mean, and he's considered tall.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's tough. But I mean, so now what style of training are you at now?
Like, honestly, right now, dude, I was on, as you know, for like a long time, I was doing the full body split.
Yeah.
So I was doing full body. I was doing a 4-day split. Then I switched to 3 days a week and then was doing like either boxing or kind of like that kind of training in between.
Yeah.
For me, that got a little bit, I'm getting a little bit away from that now and trying to find footing in a place that I like. I found this new hybrid program that I really like where it combines kind of like running or boxing, like that kind of training methods with strength training. And it's a push-pull leg with the other stuff worked in. So it's very interesting. This guy that created the program, he like runs ultra marathons type shit.
Oh, okay.
But he can run an ultra marathon and then out deadlift you any day type shit. It's just a Malamute.
Yeah.
An outlier for sure. So kind of just trying to find my footing a little bit because the full body training split, I don't know what it was. I definitely feel like I was making the most progress in bumping my weights up because there was so much rest period in between each. It was like and also you're hitting one set for one muscle group every day, all muscle groups.
Yeah.
And then your muscles are bouncing right back and you're able to hit them again hard.
Yeah. And there's not a really recovery period for this. Yeah.
And I was having like basically like eradicated like all like kind of the soreness and fatigue after like week 2, week 3. But dude, it's crazy to say, but it makes perfect sense for me. It's like what I missed the most was like getting into that range of pain. Like, because doing the full body, sure, I was pushing the fuck out of my muscles. Yeah. But it was never like walking in, I'm sore as fuck from the day before and I'm about to hit the same muscle group I was just hitting.
Right. Yeah.
I missed that space of doing the thing I don't want to do.
Yes, searching for the soreness or searching to feel like you worked out. That's
correct.
Yeah, it's tough.
Best workout I've had in months was last Thursday or Friday or something like that. I was just sicker than a dog. I worked here with Ethan. We were running around doing whatever all day long working, and finally got a cut in between work from like 5:30 to 6:30 or some shit. And I just felt like dog shit. Had just one of those splitting headaches right behind my eyes. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to the gym. And it was the best workout I've had because it's like something about just doing shit I don't want to do. I've just become, I have this weird like love affair with doing it like that.
Somebody said like, if it feels like you shouldn't do it, you probably should.
Yeah.
That goes a long way.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
To a degree.
Within health
within
and
reason.
fitness, absolutely. Absolutely. Because there's a lot of other things that feel great that I probably shouldn't do.
With the realm of health and fitness, let's rewind that.
I'm going to live by that. Yeah, I'm going to live by that,
Just
Dustin.
go ahead and just live by that. Make it like really, on point. Just don't even worry about anything. No repercussions.
When I'm in when I'm handcuffed in an orange jumper in the court, I'm just gonna let them know, like, oh, my buddy Dustin said, like,
don't be a donor.
Don't be a donor.
Just be a doer. Okay,
do it.
Just do it.
With that mentality, man. On like my Sundays is when I go do my grocery shopping. There's not a soul in there that stands a chance. It's the oblivious old dudes that are just like, groceries are down here, motherfucker, and I'm trying to get to the beef.
Why are you looking at the sky right now? Like, what are we looking at? Yeah, no, I know 100%.
So oblivious, man. Myrtle Beach is so bad with that shit.
Oh my God, it's terrible. And you know how many times, like if I go to the grocery store, there's always like somebody up front who's like taking a survey now, like for something like, hey, you want to help pandas keep getting boners? I'm like, fuck it, why not? Okay.
You can't say no.
I'll sign it, like whatever, Yeah, they're always there, and they always have the questions like, "Hey, how much can you bench press?" And after being asked that like so many times, I've just come up to the conclusion that like that I'm just going to keep saying like as much as I want. They're like, "How much can you bench press?" I'm like, "As much as I want." Let me sign your fucking form. I'm out of here.
That's a good one. I like that. I like that. God
like,
damn.
I don't know. I don't know how much I bench press. Like, I train to like 80% maybe of my max. Like, I did do a PR the other day, but I did a complete chest workout before, so I don't think it really counts. So,
Not really. No, that's not how that's done.
Yeah. I mean, and I still did like 315, like 2 or 3 times. And then,
Solid.
of course, I hit record on my phone when I was trying to do 345 or 350 or something like that. And I failed. So I only got the failed attempt. I didn't get the 315 at all. And this is after chest. So I'm like, when people ask me that question now, I'm like, I don't want to say I don't know. So I just say as much as I want.
I gotta ask, man, what's like your current status in the female realm? What do you got going on as far as relationships are concerned?
So I have a girlfriend.
Okay.
I do. Me and Delaney have been off and on for almost 4 years.
This is the girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay.
Her name's Delaney. I call her Red Velvet. I think everybody calls her Red Velvet now. So that's kind of like her ongoing nickname. I started something. I can't stop.
Got it.
I've been with her for 4 years, and then I have a kid that lives in Ohio with her mom. She's going to be 5. She just turned 4, so she'll be 5 next September. And me and her mom were together for 3 years.
Just young, when you're in your younger years, or how old were you?
When she was born, I was 26. So yeah, so it was like 23 to 26. I was with Courtney, and we had a falling out. So I go to Ohio like every month, and spend time with her and spend time with my daughter, and then she comes down here like every other month, it seems like, and we spend some time together. But as far as my relationship with her, like that would never happen again. It's just like some people, are just not compatible. But with me and Delaney, like we're really compatible. She holds it down for me, Yep. She has a good understanding of what I'm trying to do and trying to accomplish, which I think is huge when you're looking for somebody to spend your life with. They should be a partner as much as not just your girlfriend or anything like that. And then she has a good understanding of that, and she's held it down with me through thick and thin. We all have those times. I've been broke, like that is not even funny anymore. That type of broke before. So, and she stuck with me through that. So, and then when the good times come around, like now, it's like she's right there with me again. So it's like she's all around a really, really good person. Probably has the best heart that I've ever seen in anybody. She has so much heart and love, and she looks at the world like everything is just, nobody has any bad intentions, which is a good and a bad thing.
It's a good thing for a female, in my opinion.
It is.
It's like a very feminine trait.
Yeah.
To see sunshine and rainbows, and
yeah,
it's your job as a man to protect that.
Yeah, I have to dial her back.
Reality.
Like, yeah, we don't always give money to homeless people. We don't always roll our window down to like hand somebody something, or like she's always the one to just find the best in everyone, which I love that about her.
That's very cool, man.
What about you? Who you like?
No, I'm in no relationship. I'm a free rider on the free range, and I mean, you know me, I work a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've had my share of relationships. I've had the longest one I ever had was like 5.5 years. This was like high school into college years, whatever.
Yeah. It's a long time.
Yeah, it was a long time. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was just a young gun for most of it, but yeah.
Was you whipped?
What's that?
Was you whipped?
Absolutely not. I can happily say that I have always played the masculine role in all of my relationships. Yeah. But that's, I mean, as far as, would I say that I'm actively seeking right now?
Yeah.
I would say I'm not actively seeking, because I'm like you. I'm all or nothing. Like if I wanted it bad enough, I'd be doing things to make sure I put myself like, you know, hanging out in the barbershop long enough to get my hair cut kind of thing. I'm not hanging out at the barbershop right now. So, you know, I'm kind of just working, doing these things, you know, I guess building the man worthy of, because that's another thing too. I've always looked at it as, you know, build the man worthy of the woman that you want to serve as your wife or as the mother to your children. I want to have children. That's a massive thing for me.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm always, from a very young age, I've always looked through the lens, and it's helped me a lot because I can start, you know, everybody will you'll meet a pretty girl. You're hanging out with her, you're going on dates, you're doing this, that, and the other thing. And you get caught up in like almost like that, the butterflies phase of like, oh, everything's great and yada, yada, yada. I will meet a girl on like the first time ever meeting her. I could just stumble into her at a coffee shop, and I'm immediately gauging for certain attributes that are tailored towards motherhood. Like that's the thing I'm optimizing for.
Yeah.
If I was optimizing to get laid, I would definitely have a different approach.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's just not me as far as like what I'm trying to pursue. Like for me, like that whole lifestyle is, I can see, you know, the reasoning behind some guys doing it. But for me, it draws focus and energy away that I could be driving into my businesses, driving myself forward.
Yes, you hit it right on the head. I mean, that's perfect. If people spent half the time that they do chasing girls, and if they put that into a craft of some sort, I don't care what it is, I mean, they'd already be a millionaire. You know, I see guys that's all they do. That's exactly what it is for me. Like, and then you'd build a man worthy of, it's like if you've set your life up properly and you've achieved a certain level of status, strength, physical aptitude, knowledge, and you carry yourself a certain way, like you are going to be in a much better position to not pursue, but to attract the kind of female that's going to be a good mother to your children, that's going to be a good wife to you. Exactly. Law of attraction. That's exactly
kind of how I've, I guess, designed my entire life. So that's why I work a ton, not in hopes that, oh my God, I hope she comes. Like, of course I'm doing that because I'm overly ambitious, because I love business. I love playing this game. But like I could tell you right now that my children 10 years from now will be more important than anything I have ever done.
Yeah. I mean,
hands down.
Facts. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's you put off a certain energy, and the universe will bring back that energy, whatever it is. If you put off the energy that you're just trying to get laid, that's all you're going to find. If you put off an energy like you want a mother and a wife, that's what you'll find. It just takes a little more time. But
turns out the energy of wanting a wife and those kinds of things, like basically going to, like the only times I'll go out is if I have a group of guys I'm going to hang with.
Yeah.
Because like I'm about like just I'm there to have some fun regardless of what happens. And I'll be with, you know, a couple of my buddies who are out to get laid. Like they're out to meet chicks and whatever. And you see them puppy dog and panting around the whole place.
Yeah.
I'm standing in the corner just enjoying a beer, having some good conversation, talking business with some buddy of mine. And the girls come to us.
Exactly.
You know, it's completely different.
Yeah, exactly. They see guys chasing them all day long. Like it probably happens, 24 hours a day. So to see somebody that's different.
Precisely.
So, and then I always take the same approach. I never try to force anything ever. I let it come to me. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm like you. I want to build a safe environment for a woman. Like if you play your role and do what a man is supposed to do and build this environment of safety, a woman will play her role and reciprocate all the energy that you've put out by doing what she was meant to do or was supposed to do. I think that's a big thing that guys don't do now. They don't give a safe environment. They're not, there's no feeling of safety there. There's no feeling of like, hey, this is yours. You could do this with me. And that's lost now. It really is. So for you to do that, it's a smart move.
Right.
It's a really smart move.
You used the keyword, and I like that you put the emphasis on it's going to attract a woman.
Yeah. There's a big difference.
That's what we have in society as far as men are concerned, is like there's not very many men walking around. We got a bunch of 35-year-old boys acting like fucking kids.
I see it, like
chasing their tendencies, and it's just, I mean, there's no, what there is like, a masculine trait is this controlling, it's this controlled energy kind of thing to me. But it can also be unleashed, in certain ways. It can be chaotic, but it's controlled in different scenarios, different environments. And there's not often times that I'm brushing shoulders out in public with someone who I'm like, oh, that's threatening to me.
Right.
you know?
Yeah, exactly. No, same here. Yeah, it's different. You're right. 35-year-old children, basically. It's crazy how men today don't want to do their part, but they expect a woman to do theirs, in a relationship. It's not 50-50, it's 100 and 100. You give your 100% and she gives her 100%. That's how a relationship works. You don't split anything. It's not 50-50 this, sometimes I see guys that don't give anything. They give 0% and expect a woman to give 100% all the time, and that's just like mind-blowing to me. Like I wouldn't feel good as a man to do that. Like I would feel like shit. I would remove myself from the relationship to get my shit together. Yeah. First of all, and then maybe come back to it or something, or find something different. But I would never be the guy to let her, take on everything. That's crazy to me.
So with having the prior circumstance with having your daughter in Ohio, you said, and these kinds of things, do you have hopes to have more children in the future?
I do. Yeah. I definitely want to have kids, more kids. Hampton kind of proved that to me, because at first, when you have your first kid, I got to be honest, had mixed feelings about it. I didn't know if if this is something that I really, really wanted until she's there, until your kid is there in front of you, and then you're like, yeah, I want like 3 or 4 of these. Yeah. She's awesome. She really is. Like, she's smart. I mean, you see little characteristics of yourself come out as they grow up, like she's always she loves hand sanitizer. She's always cleaning herself. Like, she cleans her feet after she touches the floor with hand sanitizer. And I'm like, that's me. That's what I do. Like, I can't go to work if I have wrinkles in my shirt. That's funny. My dryer breaks and the world is over. I call out of work. I'm like, I can't come. So you find those little characteristics in your kid that are just a little just representation of yourself. And you're like, yeah, I want 2, 3, 4 kids. But I see that in my future. I do. I've built myself an environment, and that's where I'm headed. Awesome. If fingers crossed, if everything goes right. Shit,
man. Well, that's enough deep talk. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you sharing that. And so your show coming up. When's your show coming up?
March. So March. I'm competing in March. Would be the first one, and then hopefully a couple more this spring. So see where we're at.
And some money?
Yeah, I mean $50,000.
No shit.
Yeah. So if first place, it's a lot of money. I don't know if I'd know what to do with it, but we'll find something to do with it.
Well, go experience life with a little bit, and then set some aside, or invest it, or do something.
Probably, yeah. So, but we'll see. Hopefully, get a pro card and keep going from there.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be rooting for you. And where can folks find you on social media?
At Cyrus Fitness X, CYRUS Fitness X, or you can follow my personal page. That's 1,000 a cut. That's literally the numbers 1000 a cut, ACUT. So, and that's my personal page, and it's got everything. I've never deleted anything off of that page.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's the archive.
It's the archive.
Library.
Literally, like, experience everything. That's where it's at.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, brother, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and telling your story.
Yes, sir.